Thank you. So, let's head back to the very main room. Go away, you. So, return to the main room. At this point... Whoa! Didn't see that thing there. There we go. Now let's go ahead and head down here. This is that other area where we can't just take off the boots. Oh, right, the water's at its highest point. I didn't have to do that. I'm an idiot. That's what I was thinking of a second ago. The water is at its highest point still, so you don't have to worry about that. So, right now on the highest floor to the north is where the boss room is actually located, but we don't have the boss key yet, so we've got to get that first. So, before we enter the door that we need to go to... Okay, this was where I was supposed to go. We can head back into this west room here and grab the Skulltula token. This is completely optional as well. You don't have to re-go through this room, because we just did, so... If you would like the Skulltula token, it is now available to you. The one in the central room I'll pick up later, because we have to go through that again anyway, so... Let's get the token. Thank you. I was going to say, that heart's still there, I want it, but I either picked it up or it went away. I wanted it to. Alright, so... Sorry, I got distracted there. I was thinking about which room to go to next. The next one we need to go to is on the second level, so we're going to have to go change the water again. So, we're going to head down to the bottom room to where we met Ruto, which was on the opposite side of where I am. That's... Oh no, it's right here. It's on the opposite side of where I was, not where I am. So we're going to head through here. And basically now we're just switching the water back to its second form, so we're going to go to the top and then make it lowered all the way down and then go get the second one. Which actually isn't too hard if you know where the switches were, but it can be confusing if it's your first time playing through. I can understand that completely. This is also our chance to go pick up that other token that's in the central area, too. No, I didn't want to do that. There we go. That's where we need to go. Link, what are you doing? Go in the door, you silly. Yeah, I knew that wasn't a good attempt to try to grab it. Don't try to grab that one at an angle if you can, because it's easy to just have Link grab it and then not climb onto the thing you're supposed to. There we go. Get as far back as you can on that one. I should have mentioned that earlier. The token is way up here. I don't even know what the top of this room's used for. I mean, I guess you could explore around in it. There might be like a scarecrow that you can go to, but the only thing that's up there is that token. So, there's nothing up there. So I'm not really sure why that's there, but it is. Alright, now let's head back outside here. Now that we've got the long shot, we can get through the one room that gave me easily the most grief the first time I played through this. I could not figure out how to get through this room the first time I did this at all. It was throwing me off so badly. What you need to do here is hit the switch right here with the eye. That part I got, obviously. And then there's a target over there. Oops. Oh, Tektites. Get lost. Knew he was coming too, I just didn't think he'd get there that quickly. So hit the eye switch. And then hit that target right there. Even if the gate shuts, as long as you hit the target before the gate shut, you're fine, you'll go right through it. But the annoying thing about that is, you have to have the long shot, you can't do it with the hook shot. And the first time that drove me nuts, it's like, well, maybe you can jump and run to it? You know, like, just make the jump, but no, you can't do that either. You have to have the long shot. There's not enough time to do it any other way. Now, I've heard there's several different ways to do this puzzle. The easiest one I found is what I'm about to show you. Is you have to push this block right here, but it gets you stuck where you are. So the easiest thing to do, from what I've noticed, is to push it forward and then just do the exact same thing again and go through the room and push it a second time. Got it. And then if you go back around, the block will be here, but then you can just push it forward. I'm not sure if that's how other players do it. That's how I've always done it. Just repeat the room again. It's kind of annoying, but it's the easiest way to do it. So that's what I always do. And we get a key. That is the last key in the dungeon, aside from the boss key. So that should be all of them, unless there's one I'm not thinking of. But I think I got them all. Okay, so now that we've got the 2 keys, trying to think. I think it's the north quarter on the bottom. We'll find out. I think it's north. I'll know when I get to the bottom because it's got this little area that looks like a crater. Yeah, this is it. We didn't go in here earlier, and you don't need to change the water level. There's this little crater area that's in the north. This is the one floor on the lower level that I have not done anything with. And you'll see why shortly. Where's the target? I'm probably not far enough forward and I have to look backwards, don't I? Yep. That's what it was. Let's get those boots off. And go across through here. This is the part that always threw me off too when I first played it because you have to have both keys. I had the first one, I didn't have the second one though. So, you know, not much good without the second key here. And you're going to see why when we get to the end of this. Right here, you have this little puzzle with the Tektites and boulders. Just try to swim through it as best you can. It worked for me every time I've done it. Worked right then, too. You can shoot them with arrows if you want. It's kind of up to you. Now, welcome to this really strange room. You've got these little things that fly around. We saw these in Jabba Jabba's belly. They don't fly around, they swim around, but the strange thing about them is one time I left them in here too long and they just started flying. Like, they were in the air just flying. It was bizarre. Not sure why that happened, but yeah, who knows. I didn't follow my own advice to keeping the Ocarina on one thing, but it's not that big a deal, so. We have to have both of those areas cleared out, and I want to keep Ocarina here. I don't think I need it for the rest of the dungeon, though, except for one more time where I have to raise the water back up to the highest point. Here we have a quick block pushing puzzle. This isn't incredibly difficult. Bomb both of the sides, and then you're just going to have to push and pull it until you get to the side that had the switch on it. Because that switch down there does have to have something actively standing on it. You can't just go down and hit it, and then all of a sudden it's all good. You know, you got it taken care of. So push it to the end of that wall, and then pull it a couple times here so you have enough room to stand in front of it, and then just push it until it hits the switch. There we go. It's not that the individual floors, the individual levels or rooms don't really have too much puzzle to them. It's as a whole that makes this complicated. Because when I get to individual rooms, it's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of obvious what I need to do here. It's not incredibly crazy, but as a whole, yes, the dungeon can be very confusing. And then we'll head to the top of here. Climb up a couple times, head through the door. Hold on, that was weird. The camera looked a bit off when I went through that, so I was checking to see what it was. So here we have another room with the pillars. This one's got a switch that you stand on instead of one that you actually hit with your sword, but, you know, whatever. I would recommend, however, on this one, getting rid of the Tektites, because they're in a really bad spot, or at very least making them awake. Or making them wake up, because they'll actually jump down into the spot down there. Or you can shoot them twice in there. They're not going to move the first time, then the second time you can just kind of time it out. So when you shoot, they land, and then you hit them. But I would not recommend leaving the Tektite alive there. The third pillar you don't even need to jump for. You can actually just make it and grab onto the side after you get the second one, so I feel that works better. Okay, let's wait here, because there's a boulder. Jump down here. I do see that Skulltula, don't worry. We're going to sink down here with our iron boots because it's going to be easier to get it here when we know the boulder's trying to fall on us. Grab the token. Shellblade. And like all the Shellblades that have been in corridors, I'm going to ignore you even if you hit me. That might be the first Shellblade that actually did hit me, in fact. And this is where I got stuck. And this is where I didn't have the key, and I was like, oh crap, what did I miss? And that key's all you need, because the boss key's right here. The boss key is essentially the very last thing you get in this temple. After you get that, you have to change the water level once in the main room area, and then you're ready to fight the boss. You'll have everything else. All your keys are going to be used up, and your, there's some fairies here, by the way, if you want them. Your keys will be used up, and you'll have the long shot, so you're about ready to go. Now it's just a matter of working your way back to the main room, and then after that, switching the water to where it's at its highest level, and then you're ready to fight the boss. So is it confusing? Yeah, I can see why it would be. After practicing it a lot, or playing it a lot, it's not as bad as it used to be for me. But could I see how it would be difficult? Yes, easily. Aw, that's lame. You know what? I'm just going to let it get me. That stupid Tektite was not going to let me get out of there. Whoa, there's the seizure camera. I was wondering when it was going to show up. Let's see if I can just... No, I can't do that. It wasn't even the right way to go anyway. Stupid. No, I don't want to use the big Goron sword. I picked it up mostly just to show you how to do it. I'm not going to spam the big Goron sword. For anybody that was worried about that, I'm not going to do that. I will do it for this boss fight, probably, but I'll show you my strategy for it, and it has nothing to do with the additional damage from the big Goron sword at all, so... This is actually the way to go backwards, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I was trying to turn around and go the other direction because I thought I got turned around. This is actually the way back to the main room. I thought the way opposite of where I was looking was the way back, but it wasn't. Silly me, wasn't paying attention. Hey Rocky, what's going on? You're not Sylvester Stallone at all, but we can pretend. Oh, hello. So now what we need to do... Is this the right way? Got turned around temporarily. Yeah, this is the right way to go. Okay. Gotta wait for this Tektite to fall down here. There we go. I've already got the arrows. It's going to be a little bit easier to aim with the arrows than it will be the long shots. So let's just do that. This boss does not require arrows. All you need is your long shot and your Master Sword. That's it. No consumables. So you're all good on that front. There is one last room in here, and I kind of want to mention something about this randomly. Because I know for a fact when I do a Let's Play for Mario Party 3, I am going to reference this. So for those of you that watch that in the future, you'll actually, if you remember this, you'll remember that I talked about it. Well, I'm trying to attack you. There we go. There's some fairies in jars just across the way here. So on the north entrance on the top level, this is where the boss is. You will need the long shot to get here. And there you go. Got a fairy. Full health, 3 fairies, can't ask for much more than that. Okay, so this last room right here, you've got these spiked things to avoid. And if you stop moving, you're going to slide back down. There is a minigame in Mario Party 3 that acts a lot like this. It's called Boulder Ball, and it's a 1-on-3 minigame. Where you've got one person that is in a machine that's throwing boulders down at the other 3, and they have to climb up the hill. But if you stop climbing up the hill, you slide down, and it reminds me a lot of this room in the Water Temple. Kind of a random thing to point out, but if you ever watch that project, maybe you'll remember this and remember that I talked about it. Either way, the way to get through this room is to stay on the left-hand side, and whenever this first one goes away, that's when you start running. And run immediately and do not stop. And that's how you get to the top right here. Now, I am going to use the big Goron sword for this fight, but I will show you why, and it'll be blatantly obvious why whenever we actually get underway into the fight. And it has nothing to do with the damage. So, let's go ahead and head in. And you can very easily do this with the Master Sword as well, which is why it doesn't matter too much. The only reason I'm doing this is for the additional range on the sword. It has nothing to do with the damage. So this is clearly not normal water, so if you kind of dink around in this little area that's got the 4 pillars, you'll see the boss. In addition to this being one of the more annoying temples, this is easily one of the more annoying boss fights. As you can tell, it's made completely out of water, pretty much, with the exception of the single amoeba orb that's in the center. The giant aquatic amoeba, fittingly enough. Morpha! Nobody likes Morpha. Morpha's annoying. Which is why I'm going to show you the easy way to beat it, like I did with Volvagia. The idea behind this boss is that you attack the amoeba thing that's in the center by using the long shot to grab it whenever it fires a tentacle at you. After it does that, it's susceptible to your sword. The way I recommend doing this is staying into the corner of a room, waiting for the tentacle to attack you, and the thing to come out, long-shotting this. No, I didn't mean to do that. And whenever it does come out, I missed my chance there. You can put the sword up. Thank you. These corners of the room are the only spot that the boss cannot reach you, so make sure you make good use of them. Okay, I got a better angle on this one, I'm pretty sure. There we go. No, I didn't do it right there either. He's gonna jump back in. The idea of what I'm trying to do here, in case I can't get it to work, is waiting for the tentacle to shoot out. And whenever it does, pull out the amoeba part. There we go, we got it now. We got it now, yeah! So what you want to do is grab the amoeba and get it stuck in the corner by spinning around it, and then just quick spin over and over and over until it dies. The reason why I say the difference between the Big Goron Sword and Master Sword doesn't matter for damage is you get more range off your spin attack when you use the Big Goron Sword. So it makes it easier to keep it in the corner. It's not required. I have done it with the Master Sword before. It's entirely up to you. So the damage-wise, it will kill it faster, but in this case, it just means you're going to quick spin a couple more times if you use the Master Sword. It doesn't make it broken if you do that. The part that breaks the fight is the quick spin, not the sword you're using. That's why I say it doesn't matter that much. It's a very effective way to kill that boss, though, because if you choose to actually fight it the normal way, you're going to start getting more tentacles coming after you and trying to grab at you like that, and only one's going to have the amoeba in it, and you'll have to shoot out the amoeba and just hit it once. And that's more so annoying. I prefer the quick spin method, because to be honest, I don't like this boss. And as far as I'm aware, nobody else does either. So that's a much easier way to get rid of it. And that, my friends, is the Water Temple in exactly, if I can move my clock over, 46 minutes and 30 seconds, essentially. Not too bad. That'll be 2 videos once I get out of this area. And there's a lot of stuff to do after the Water Temple that's side questing stuff. We're probably going to have 16, maybe 17 hearts. That might be pushing it, but we'll definitely have 16 hearts going into the next temple. And the next temple might actually surprise you if you have not played or heard of this game before, because, you know, as a kid we had the Deku area, the Goron area, and the Zora area. And as an adult we had those 3 areas too, but now it's like, where do we go from here? We still got 2 more temples to go. I'm completely talking over Ruto, but let's face it, it was kind of obvious she was the Water Sage. Like, hello? Did you think it was going to be King Zora? I doubt that. And so now we have obtained the 4th medallion. There is one other thing I'm going to pick up, even if it makes us go over 25 minutes for the 2 videos, because it's best to just pick it up now. Mostly because I don't want to later. So we've received the Water Medallion. Rito awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. And with the evil curse from the temple boss of the Water Temple gone, the water rises back up in Lake Hylia, and it is restored to normal. Unfortunately, and this is total crap on Nintendo's part, as much as I usually compliment their stuff, I hate this. The Zora's Domain area that's, you know, like they said, once the temple boss is beaten, it will come unfrozen. It stays frozen as an adult. You actually never get to see it thawed out again. If you want to see it thawed, you have to be a child, which really sucks. I would have loved to see it again in its former glory. It's still ice, though. The lake is back to normal, but Zora's Domain is exactly the same. I think they did redeem themselves, though, because they probably knew people didn't like that, and they fixed it in Twilight Princess. You unfreeze the Zoras there. And Zora's Domain is probably my favorite area in Twilight Princess. If not, it's certainly up there. Not my favorite temple. I don't like the Lake Bed Temple, but I do enjoy the Zora's Domain areas. I like the water areas. I don't like water temples generally, but I like the water areas. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do before we end off the video here, there's actually two things. One of them's just a Skulltula token. But in Lake Hylia now, if you head over here and read this little inscription that's on the ground, it will say, when water fills the lake, shoot for the morning light. And you aim at the sun with an arrow. You can only do this after you beat the water temple, which is why it says when water fills the lake. You can aim directly at the sun, and this will drop one of the special arrows that are in the game. If we were playing Majora's Mask, we would have had this a long time ago, but we're not playing that, so it's the fire arrow! Even if you could actually shoot for the morning light and get the fire arrow activated, you have no way to reach it until the temple was beaten anyway, because the water wouldn't be high up enough to get it. But either way, we have the fire arrow set to C, and your arrows will be powered up. If you hit your target, it will catch fire. Very useful. Instead of using our makeshift fire arrows that we've been doing before, like in the Forest Temple and in the Water Temple, now we just have them outright. The second thing I want to do is actually turn it to night around here, because like I said, we're going to pick up the Skulltula token, and this is only available at night. The Skulltula will not be here during the daytime. And that is to long shot up to where you saw Sheik in that cutscene on the top of this tree here. And there he is. Let's just head up this little fork in the tree. Come here, you. That wasn't what I meant to do, but okay. I don't know why that was really funny. Oh well. Either way, that is all I want to do for this episode, because we've completed the Water Temple now. I'm going to switch it back to day here if I can. There we go. So that is the Water Temple, ladies and gentlemen. I did it as fast as I could. It only took 2 videos, so not too bad, all things considered. But that is the Water Temple. Next time on Let's Play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we've got a couple things to pick up. How many heart pieces are we at right now? We're at 2? Okay, so we are definitely for a fact getting 16 hearts, because I can think of one right now and another one that we have to get another item for, but we will have at least 17 hearts going into the next temple. So, in that case, I will see you guys in the next video for our wonderful collect-a-thon. Take care, and I will see you then. Later.